Washington. The drought's over. It's done. And hey, look, newsflash, Jayden Daniels is the guy. I was right when I said Dan Quinn was going to change this organization. I did not think it would be this fast in his first year with a rookie quarterback. But Daniels is the dude in Washington. Everybody's behind him. The team believes in him. Terry McLaurin, one time I heard him say that he can't believe, he thinks he's in a dream. Somebody pinch him, please, because he's been through so many quarterbacks and they haven't worked out. Finally, he has the guy there. He joins the short list of rookie quarterbacks to win playoff games, especially on the road. What do you make of this game? Do you think that this is kind of the catalyst for Jayden Daniels being the guy we talk about for the next 5 to 10 years, possibly?
Well, here's the one thing. He's definitely the dude in the NFC. It's finally we got a real hotshot young quarterback come into the NFC and be good, because the NFC is mostly rosters with overpaid quarterbacks. Jordan Love kind of proved that today, and we will obviously get into that. But I'm just so impressed with Jayden Daniels. I thought he was too small to be successful in the NFL. Obviously, when I watched his college tape, it was incredible. I was just really worried about the size. But do you know what impressed me most about him? And you'll probably agree. It's the absolute poise, Ryan. And because he has 70-something college starts, he's played a lot of football. He never looks rattled. And you could tell from the first snap against the Bucs, he just looks like that's where he belongs. It's another day at the office. He is always in complete control, and it's really impressive. You mentioned that the drought is over. For anyone that doesn't know, first playoff win for Washington since 2005, 19 years, and it ended this weekend.
Chris Collinsworth constantly reminds everybody that he looks like Lamar Jackson, and that it's not far off. When he's moving through the pocket, through the tackles, he moves Lamar Jackson-esque. He has that shiftability, that QB run mentality, almost like a run-first mentality. It reminds me of Lamar Jackson, when he first got into the league.
He plays more pocket quarterback than Lamar did when he first started, though.
And I will say this, I think he is a better passing quarterback than Lamar was when Lamar first entered in to the NFL.
That's without a debate. It also feels like a lot of his runs are designed. He doesn't scramble a ton. He does occasionally when the play breaks down, but even when the play breaks down, he's scrambling to pass. Most of the runs are designed, and they really got Tampa off script early with RPOs, and that one deep shot to McLaurin early in the game scared Tampa out of the blitz. Later, they went back to it, but it just kind of felt like when you compared the two teams tonight, and I really like Baker Mayfield, he didn't have a great night. He was good, 15 for 18, 185, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, the fumble was a big one, but it, to me, felt like Jayden Daniels was the quarterback in command of the football game this evening.
Yeah, he was able to control the clock. They were able to put together long drives. The problem with Tampa Bay is they were constantly going 3 and out.
Yep.
And it doesn't work. It seemed like Washington had an answer for every situation that they were in. The fourth down conversions were really big. I think they had 2 or 3 of them. And Jayden Daniels made almost all of them. So it was one of those things where the fumble was a big deal for Tampa. That was probably the game changer. If Tampa could have drove down and scored on that drive, we probably would have wound up in overtime. I don't know, though. Dan Quinn may have said, if we get the touchdown here, let's go for 2 and knock it out.
But when the fumble happened, at least I can't speak to you, it felt like, that might be the game.
It was like the breath that just came out of Tampa Bay, and that was the last breath that they were going to breathe that night. And it was, unfortunately. I think we nailed it last week when we said if you could shut down Baker Mayfield, one thing I want to point out is this Washington defense really stepped up.
They did.
Baker had an okay night, but compared to his previous weeks and the rest of the season, Washington really contained him. They held him really tight, even though he was able to get Evans, and him and Lattimore were battling all night, and Evans won that battle most of the night. But even though that happened, they still contained Baker. They shut down the run for Bucky Irving, and they did everything they needed to do to stop this high-powered Tampa Bay offense. And we said that Tampa Bay, I think it was you, said that you had to have one way for them to win. We'll talk about another team that has to have one way to win here in just a second, but they have to have one way to win. If you shut it down, game's up.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they shut down Bucky Irving, but I think they did a good job maintaining him. He had 17 carries, 77 yards. There was a point maybe in the third quarter where it felt like Bucky Irving was really getting going, like really rolling, and whether it was a change of possession or whatever ended up happening, it kind of stifled that a little. It's interesting because when you look at the box score and you look at the numbers, this is why you have to watch the football games. The box score isn't bad by Tampa Bay. It's just really, to me, it came down to game management. And I don't mean that in a cliche term. It just felt like the Commanders managed the clock better, managed the game better, and the Buccaneers had a lot of penalties that hurt them too. Todd Bowles said that in the halftime interview. It's like, we have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. And they kind of did. Commanders played a cleaner game. They just looked like the better football team, which me and you both predicted them to win this game, but it was a great matchup. We knew it would be a good game. And I don't think it's crazy to say the Commanders could win another playoff game. I think both of these teams were frisky.
Yeah, absolutely. Complete side note. Every time they pan to Todd Bowles, does it not look like he's constipated? I mean, it is definitely, like, Pepto needs to do a commercial with him. Because Pepto only helps diarrhea. Whatever helps constipation. Okay, it's not Pepto. It'll make you more constipated. Anyway, do you not agree, though? Every time they pan over, it's like they use a still shot of him.
I don't know if constipation's where I would have gone with it.
Look at his face next time and think constipation.
He always does. He always like almost looks like not confused, but like, did I hear them right? Is that what they said? Which is interesting because it's funny. He's a terrific football coach, but anytime they cut to him, it looks like he doesn't care. I do like the even kill though. I hate the coaches like Sirianni that get up and down. Like Todd Bowles is even keeled. Unfortunately, him and the Bucs are going home, even though they had a really good season, but they ran into Washington, who ends up finishing the season 13-5, and they're going to the divisional round. No one saw this coming. If you would have told them preseason, they would have been happy. They got a date with Detroit next week, and we'll talk about that game here in a little bit.